Okay, hello everyone. In this page, we are in the page 16. In this page, we are going to discuss about two artists, Darcy Bussell and David Guetta, the dancer and the DJ. David Guetta is a DJ. Darcy Bussell is a ballet dancer. So, I want you to look at the photos of Darcy Bussell and David Guetta, and if you know them, do you know them, for example? And we will read the information about them, and we will be discussing about these two persons. Let me read these informations briefly. Darcy Bussell is a ballet dancer. You see, guys, now we are just trying to make new sentences. You see, Darcy Bussell is a ballet dancer. This is a sentence. Why? Because we use Darcy Bussell, name, object, is the auxiliary verb, and then article a, and then her job, ballet dancer. Okay, so she is ballet dancer and model. She's from London, England. She lives in Sydney, Australia. She works mainly in London and Sydney. She speaks English and a little French. She's married to an Australian banker, Adam Forbes. She has two daughters, Phoebe and Zoe. She writes stories about ballet for children. David Guetta is a DJ superstar. He's from France. He lives in Paris. He works all over the world, Ibiza, Miami, Mauritius. He speaks French and English. He is married to Cathy from Senegal. He has a son, Tim Elvis, and a daughter, Angie. He writes songs and likes playing music for his friends. Okay, now I will teach you some of the question types. So we are going to ask many questions about Darcy Bussell and David Guetta. So what we will learn from this page, how to make new sentences, new questions, how to structure them, and how we will answer to those questions with the tense that we have just learned, present simple tense. So let's get started. Okay, now let's make some sentences about Darcy Bussell, and you will do the same sentences with David Guetta, and you can write them down as a comment under the video. Okay, so Darcy Bussell is a ballet dancer and a model. So let me write it here. She is a ballet dancer. Okay, ballet dancer. Okay, she's from London, England. She is from London, England. She lives home now, which means she lives in Sydney, Australia. She lives in Sydney. So as you see here, we use object here, verb with the suffix s, and like this. This is the structure. Let's go on. She works mainly in London and Sydney. She works mainly London. Okay, this is another sentence. She speaks English and a little French. She speaks English and a little French. Okay. She's married to an Australian banker. She is married to an Australian banker. You see, she, this is the object, this is the auxiliary verb, and she's married. We know this sentence before. To whom, we say, we use here another article, I will teach you later, to an Australian banker. Okay, and what else? She writes stories about ballad for children. She writes stories about ballad for children. Okay, so these are the whole sentences. They are done with the present simple tense. I want you to do the same for David Guetta, all of the sentences, and write them down as a comment under the video, please. So now let's ask some questions about the Dancy Bustle. How we will ask the questions, how we will learn them. Let's get started. Okay, look at the first sentence. She's a ballet dancer. How we ask a person what is his job, her job? We can ask, what is your job? We can ask like this. This is the first variation. Or we can say, what do you do? But we will ask about she, so what does she do? What does, okay. And she's from London, England. Where is she from? You see, easy. She lives in Sydney. Where does she live? This is also a question. You see, we made the sentences before, and now we are asking the questions to them. She works mainly in London. Where does she work? She speaks English and a little French. Which languages does she speak? Okay, this is another question. She's married to an Australian banker. Is she married? Easy. This is also another question. She writes stories about ballad for children. Okay, for example, we can ask, what does she do in her free time? What does she do in her free time? So easy. Okay, in this page we learn how to make sentences with the present simple tense and how to ask questions for them. She's ballet dancer. What does she do? Where is she from? She's from London, England. Where does she live? She lives in Sydney. Where does she work? She works in London. Which languages does she speak? She speaks English and a little French. Is she married? She's married. What does she do in her free time? She writes stories about ballads for children. Okay, so that's it for today. We learned some question forms and the sentence structure in this lesson. So see you in the next video. I hope you guys understand what I want to teach you. I want you to mainly focus on pronunciation and the grammar, okay? So you will be learning and adding new vocabularies to yourself like this, in this way. So that's it for today. See you in the next video.